What's been happening that's interesting?
Favorite, my favorite TV channel is having a live video, so it'd be really cool to watch it.
And what is your favorite TV channel?
Running Man, you could
Uh-huh.
just there's a channel called Running Man.
Running
As
Man, yes.
yes, you wouldn't really know.
Uh-huh. And what is it about?
It's about people just like there's a lot of people and they
Uh-huh.
choose one and then they have to figure out what the virus or like they have to fight spies or person who is dead. There's like really fun events.
Oh, right. Oh, that's interesting. That's great. Well, thank you for letting me know then, Chua. And so, yeah, we can do like last time. Do you remember? We choose a place, and I ask you what are all the different things in that place. So, for example, uh, if you go into a toy shop, what kind of toys could you find in a toy shop, Jua?
You could first see uh um you could see first a counter, of course.
Of course, the counter. That's the first thing that you would see in the toy shop. The counter. Yes, that's good.
And make sure no. What am I saying? And you can see some toys, of course. It's a toy shop.
Yes.
You
Can
could
you think of any?
toy
Wh
truck,
what toy did you say, Jua?
toy buses, and toy trucks, and
Right. So there could be toy buses and toy trucks. Yes. What other kinds of toys could you find in a toy shop?
you could I'm thinking.
Okay. Or maybe
This
other things in the toy shop, not just toys, but other things that you would find in a toy shop.
there'll be, of course, money, and there's
Money, yes.
there's the one with the counter on.
Oh, the person at the counter. Is that what you
Hmm.
said? The person at the counter?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say the salesperson.
Hmm.
Salesperson, yes.
The one who's buying the toys, and there's a
Oh, the
person at the counter.
customer. The customer, yes, of course. The person who's actually buying the toys. Right. That's good.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
I think that's all. I can't really see.
Well, that's good that we already have half a dozen things here. So 6 things. That gives us 6 points already. That's really good, Chua.
Hmm.
Well done. There we go. 6 points. That's the score so far. Now, let's think of another place. Oh, what about if you go to the zoo? What could you see in a zoo, Chua?
You could see a zebra, a lion.
Did you say a leopard?
No, you
No.
can just.
What was the first thing you said?
There's some zebras.
Divas.
Zebra.
What is a viva?
Oh, no, I pronounced it wrong. I'll just write it in the chat. Is it fine?
Vivas. Let me see what that is.
No, zebra.
Oh, zebras, right. Well, that would be American English. If you say zebras, that's why I didn't understand it straight away, because in British English we would say zebras. You see? So the first letter is pronounced Z when it's British English and Z when it's American English. So in with British English you would say zebras. And did you say lions as well?
Yes, you could see some lion.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I
What
sent
else?
it. I sent it.
What else did you say, Jura, after the lions?
And there's the oh, leopard.
You wouldn't say there is some. You would say
There's
there are some because if it's some, it's more than one, so it's plural. So you would say there are some. Oh yes, leopards. Yes, of course. Leopards.
and of course there'll be some elephants.
Elephants. Yes, of course. You mustn't forget the elephants. Very big, the elephants. Much bigger than us.
Of and mm, there's can you think? It's hard to think
Yes. Think
right
of
now.
some more zoo animals, the kind of animals you would find in a zoo. Of course, it's not all the animals you can find in a zoo because, of course, animals like cats and dogs, you probably would never see those kinds of animals in the zoo, you see.
Hmm.
So it's only certain animals you would find in a zoo, not all the animals.
There's a certain um, mm, insect. No. There's an ostrich. There's an
Ostrich, of course. We mustn't forget the ostrich. Absolutely. Very good, Jiva. So how many do we have so far? One, two, three, four, five. Five animals so far.
hmm
Any other animals you can think of that you could find in a zoo, Jiva?
You could see tigers.
Oh, yes, tigers. That's right. Absolutely. Another wild animal, another dangerous animal. Well, you're doing well. That's six animals already.
I'm busy thinking. I'm busy thinking. Let's think. Let's think.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
See if you can think of any
there's.
others. Mm-hmm. There's.
I can't think more. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Hmm.
So if you can't think of any more, this is how you would say it. Not I can't think more because obviously you can always think, but you can't think of any more. That is to say, you can't think of any more animals. I can't think of any more animals. There we are. So we have six again. Oh, well done, Jura. Look at that. Plus six.
Yay.
So 6 plus 6, that gives us how many points so far?
What points and what points?
We
Right.
had 6 points before and another 6 points. 6 plus 6 equals.
Oh, 6 plus 6, right?
Yes, that's right. 6 plus 6.
Oh,
How
then
much?
there's 12. 12.
12. That is correct. Well done, Jura. Now, have you ever been to the circus, Jura?
No, I haven't
Do you,
been.
do you know what a circus is?
I think I don't really know, but it's just people just making fun things, doing somersaults in the air, and
Yes. Do you know what those people are called who do somersaults in the air?
엄마, 엄마 그 영어 그 뭐지? 그 광대들이 영어로 뭐라고 하지? 아니 광대. 어, 어. Beer. I don't know. My mom said it. I don't know. I asked my mom. She said
Okay.
like,
The name is acrobats. Tell your mum
oh,
that it's called, that
엄마
those people are
틀렸어.
called
이랬는데.
acrobats.
Mhm.
Okay. Which other people have you heard of
아니야.
uh, in a zoo? I mean, not a zoo, in a circus. Other people you can find in a circus.
왜
Ac
때려?
acrobats? Any other types of people you can find in a circus?
많어.
아니야.
의외로 많어.
내가 아니라면 아닌 거야.
프렌치야.
프렌치 아니야. 나는 영어야. 영어라고 내가 영어를 뭐냐고 했다고 내 말이.
Well,
Yes.
if you like, I can tell you what are the other types of people you can find in a circus. You can also find clowns. They're the ones who do the funny things. They make you laugh. Have you ever heard of a clown, Jua?
클라운.
Yes.
Yes. And what about because they have wild animals in a circus, they also have a person called a lion tamer. Have you ever heard of a lion tamer?
Oh, lion tamer.
다
Do, do,
보여.
do you know what the lion tamer does? What is the job of the lion tamer?
The lion tamer does. Lion tamer tames lions.
That's
They
right.
train
He trains them and
lions. They
that's
help them.
yes,
거기로
very good. And there's also jugglers. Do you know what a juggler does, Jua?
They juggle balls.
Yes, they juggle balls. Oh, you knew that already. Oh, that's very good. Excellent, Jua. And of course, there are also uh, other acts. Oh, there's also, before I forget, the tight rope walker. Have you ever heard of a tight rope walker, Jua?
No.
Do you know what a tightrope is?
Mhm.
What is a tightrope?
It's a rope where
Yes,
people stand up and
that's right. They stand on the rope. Have you ever seen that? People standing on a rope and walking along a rope, a very tight rope.
mm,
Have you seen that, Chua?
너 지금
yes.
딴짓 엄마랑 같이 봐 화면. 화면 안 보면서 어떻게 얘기해? 빨리 화면 보러
Ha ha have you ever seen a tightrope walker, a person who walks on a very tight rope?
Oh, they walk on a rope and they
Hmm.
hold to each other on the car.
Yes, that's right. And it's very high up, and they have like a safety net underneath in case they fall, so that if they fall, they land in a safety net, and so they're not hurt because the net holds them up so they don't touch the ground. You see?
Yes.
And in the circus, sometimes you can also see fire eaters. Have you ever heard of a fire eater?
They eat fires.
Yes. Have you ever seen a person who eats fire? Have you seen that?
Mhm.
A fire eater. That's another person you can have
Fire.
at the circus. Yes, they eat fire.
Fire.
They have like flaming torches, sticks which have fire on the end, and they just like, swallow the fire. They eat the fire.
Yes.
It's very impressive because what they do is like they put the fire, like the stick with the fire, into their mouth. Obviously, you mustn't never try this yourself because these
I know
people.
that now you
That's
die.
right. This would be very dangerous if you were to try to do that. So you should never try and do this because these people who do this, they are experts in what they're doing. They've done this all of their lives, and so they know exactly how to do it safely without being hurt, you see. And then they put the fire in their mouth, and so the stick goes out, and there's no more fire on the stick. And then they blow the fire out of their mouths. It's absolutely amazing. And onto the stick, and the stick is on fire again. Do you see what I mean? It's very impressive. So, how many different characters do you have here in the circus? One,
Mm,
two,
2,
three,
3, 4.
4, 5, 6. 6 different characters
Mm-hmm.
in the circus. So we already had 6 to start off with. We have another 6 and another 6. Wow. So uh, 6 plus 6 plus 6. How much is that altogether? What is the total?
666 equals. It it equals 18 points, I think.
18. That is correct, Jura. Well done. That's a very good score. 18. Well done, Jura. That's brilliant. Okay. Now, let's go on to our story. Do you remember the story we were reading last time?
Yes.
So, what what was the name of the story? Do you remember?
The story is Pilgrim's Progress, right?
That's right, Pilgrim's Progress. And do you remember where we stopped last time?
We
Which was
stopped,
the last picture that we saw? The last page that we read?
we stopped at the page. Wait, I'm just busy thinking that.
Mm-hmm. So tell me what you see on the page where we stopped last time, the last page that we read. If you can describe the picture to me, tell me what's in the picture.
There.
Oh, bless you, Chiva.
I think there was. It was the page with somebody sleeping and somebody sleeping.
Somebody was sleeping?
Yeah, the on a bed with
Oh, no, but that was another story, I think.
no.
Uh, do you, do you want me to send you the link to the story about Pilgrim's Progress?
Okay.
Okay, send you the link then, Jiwa, because I think the person sleeping on the bed was a story we did last time or some time ago. I can't remember exactly when, but I do remember that story as well. So there we are. I've sent you the link for Pilgrim's Progress. Can you see that link in the Skype chat, Jiwa?
Mhm.
Okay. So have a look as you open the link where we stopped last time, the last page we read and the last picture we saw.
Okay.
하지마.
Yes.
아이씨.
see the same picture.
You can see the picture? What can you see in the picture? Can you describe the picture to me, Jua?
When did we stop? I can't really remember, so I'm just reading any picture.
Well, no, I'll tell you then. Do you remember there was a house with
Yes.
lots of windows, and we counted all the uh, individual small windows in each of the window frames? And you remember it was uh, four small windows in the top window, and
Yes.
so four pieces of glass in the top window, and the two bottom windows. Do you remember it was six pieces of glass in the two bottom windows? So you counted up, and how many did you say it was the total?
물어보라.
Yes. They were including the one with the big ones. They were three, and the
That's right. Three big windows, and how many pieces of glass in all of those windows, if you can add them all up? How
no
many?
16.
16. That's it. 16. Well done, Jura. You remember. So, did we actually read what was on that page already?
I have a feeling we didn't read it.
We didn't read it. We just counted the numbers of windows, the numbers, the
And then it's the end.
we just counted how many windows there were and how many pieces of glass there were in the windows. So let us read then that first picture with the house. So I'm listening to you, Jua.
Arriving home, the man tried to hide his troubles from his wife and family, but
Yes.
he failed. The
Mm-hmm.
more he struggled to keep
Mm-hmm.
quiet,
Mm-hmm.
the more troubled he felt inside.
Mm.
Finally, the words burst out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my dear wife, and you, my dear children.
Mm-hmm.
Pilgrim stopped.
Yes.
Of course, his wife and children were amazed to see him cry.
Mm.
I didn't understand what might be wrong.
That's right. And do you know what was wrong, Jua? Do you understand what was wrong?
They they didn't understand what was wrong, so
But do you know the reason why
yeah,
Pilgrim was crying? Why was he crying?
he thinks that the he knows that the town is going to be dead. No,
Yes.
gone.
Yes, that's right. That the people of the town were going to die, that they would be gone. That's right, exactly. So you've read that very well, Jua. Were there any words there that were difficult for you to understand on that
No,
page? No? You understood everything?
yes.
Oh, well done, Jua. Excellent. Well, we can go on to the next page then. And the picture's slightly different. So what's the difference between the first picture of the house and the second picture of the house? What's the difference?
And there's the woman and the
Mm-hmm.
children.
Yes. So there's and what sort of ages would you say those children were? How
One is
old do you
like
think they are?
one. I think they're like 1 year old, or
Yes, I think the baby looks like he or she is about 1 year old. One, it's a 1 year old baby, I think. And what about the other child? How old do you think the other child is?
and the other child is 5 years old, maybe.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I think that child may well be 5 years old. That's good. Right. Well, let's read what it says on that page then, please, Joanne.
Okay. I turned the page and it's turning gray. I don't know why.
The page is turning gray.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, now it loaded.
that's good.
They have never been pilgrims without way before. They have
Yes.
a burden which stresses hard upon them.
Mm-hmm.
Crying son. The mother looked at the oldest son and raised her eyebrows. The children shrugged their shoulders and shook
Mm-hmm.
their heads. The burden?
Yes.
What's the children talking about?
Yes, indeed. What do you think Pilgrim was talking about, Jura? What is this burden that he mentions?
Hmm. Yes, and
What do you think this burden is? I mean, first of all, in the picture, because we saw a picture with a burden before. Do you remember that picture where we saw Pilgrim with the burden that he was carrying? Do you
oh,
remember?
that he wants to go away from it, but
So, uh, what does the burden look like? How would you describe the burden?
yeah, it's heavy,
Yes,
안복은
heavy,
어떻게 하라고? 다.
and
yes, it's a heavy burden. That's right, exactly. So, let
so
us, yes,
the do you want me to read it?
yes, the next page. That would be good. Thank you, Joanne.
Or city will be burned with fire from heaven. Pilgrim told his family
Mm-hmm.
everyone and everything would be destroyed. He
Mm-hmm.
groaned sorrow.
Yes.
All the buildings destroyed.
Yes, absolutely. And what can you see in that picture, Jua, that you've just read on the page where you've just read?
They're
What can you see?
on fire. They're burning.
Yes, the buildings are on fire. They're burning. Exactly right, Jua. Oh, that looks absolutely awful, dreadful, terrible, really bad. Okay, well,
Mhm.
let's have a look at the next page, which has the same picture of the buildings burning. Can you read what it says on the next page, please, Joanne?
In this fearful with sorrow, overthrow,
Overthrow. That's right, overthrow. Mm-hmm.
overthrow, overthrow.
Mm-hmm.
Both myself with you, my wife, and my sweet babes should
Yes.
miserably come to ruin unless some way of escape can be found.
Absolutely. Now, tell me which words were difficult for you to understand, both in that on that page and also on the other page.
Overthrow, overthrow.
Overthrow. Right. So to understand a difficult word when it's a little bit long like that, you need to
Yes.
break it down into the different parts. So,
Uh-huh.
what are the different parts of this word overthrow?
Overthrow
How many
means
parts are they? Can you count?
overthrow. Three parts.
Well, there's three syllables, overthrow.
Over.
But if you look at the, let's say, smaller words that make up that word, how
Yes.
many smaller words can you find in the word overthrow?
There's
Complete words that you can recognize in the word overthrow.
two. Two.
Two, that's right. So let's look at the first one, over. Now, what does the word over mean? Because you see, if we can understand each part of the word separately, because it's easier when it's a
Mm-hmm.
smaller word to understand it,
Yes.
and then we put all those little shorter words back together again once we've understood them,
Mm-hmm.
then that should give us the meaning of the whole word. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean, Joanne? Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at the first part, the word over. Do you know what that word means? Over.
Over is to go up on.
Up. Yes, exactly. Because the opposite, what's the opposite of over?
Over means
Over is
like
up, and
up something. Up
that's
and.
right. It's up on top of something. But if you're going in the opposite direction, instead of going up, you're going down. What is the opposite of the word over?
Over means to go and.
It's when you're going above something. So you're quite right in saying that it's when you're going up on top of something. But have you heard of the word um, under?
Yes.
What does under mean?
Under means opposite of over. It's like back of.
That's right. It's the opposite of over. Over is when you're going up on top of something, and under is when you're going down below something. Do you see what I mean, Jua?
Mm-hmm.
So now that we've understood the word over, we need to look at the next part of this long word. What about throw? How would you describe the word throw to me, please, Jua? What does that mean? Throw.
To like I jumped. No. It's really hard to explain
I
because it's like
know.
a normal word.
I know it's hard to explain. You see, this is a very good exercise for you to express yourself in English. It's like a practical exercise because these are words that you know what they mean, but trying to explain them to somebody else who doesn't know what the word means, then that is much more difficult. Now, try and find, using your own words, a way of explaining the word throw to a person who doesn't know what that word means. If I was to say to you, Chua, tell me, what does this word throw mean? How would you explain it to me, Chua?
Mm, I would explain like some to toss a thing
You
to
could toss
somebody else.
something, right? Yes. That's good. That's like a synonym, you see. So that's good. You've explained that to throw is like to toss something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's good. Now that you've understood both parts of the word separately, when you put it together, then what do you have? What do you understand now from the word
Overthrow.
overthrow?
Oh,
So you're tossing something, and where were you tossing it?
over something.
Over, above. So basically, something is going above, okay?
Yeah.
And when you're tossing something, therefore you're moving it. And if something like falls over, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it like falls down, but here you're throwing it over. So it's even uh, more, it's a stronger word than it just falling over. It's
Mm-hmm.
actually being thrown over. So it's falling down, but with a lot of force, with a lot of strength. So it's being like overturned. It's
Yeah.
being really thrown and tossed down to the ground, but um,
Yeah.
with as though it's being pushed over and it's going over and being thrown down. Can you see what this word means now, Jua?
Yes.
It's an overthrow. It means something has been destroyed, has been uh, completely
Yes.
uh, knocked down, knocked over, and is completely on the ground. Now, you understand that if everything burns, well, it's completely destroyed. And that is an overthrow. It's a destruction. Do you see what I mean, Joanne?
Yes.
Excellent. That's good. Now you understand what this word overthrow means. Right. So, uh, which other word was difficult for you to understand there in that paragraph? Or
That's all. That's
that's all. Okay, let's continue then to the next picture with a lot of fire once again. Oh, but there's something different in the third picture with the fire. What can you see in the third picture with the fire?
I
That's
can
yes.
see the pilgrim.
You can see Pilgrim. Yes, and what is Pilgrim doing?
He's sobbing.
Yes, he looks very sad. He looks as though he's sobbing. And and can you see what he has on his back,
He has
Chua?
burden.
The burden, yes, it's still on his back. Okay, let's read what it says on that page, please, Chua.
Okay.
Okay.
I cannot see a way of escape for any of us, the unhappy
Mm-hmm,
pilgrim's
mm-hmm,
words gave way to a fresh wail of sorrow. He was
mm-hmm,
crushed with sadness, not
mm.
only for himself, but also for his wife and dear children whom he loved.
Whom he loved.
Mhm. Whom
Very,
he loved.
very good, Chua. Now, which words were difficult for you to understand on that page?
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
You understood all the words on that page?
Yes.
That's excellent. Very good. Well, we can continue with the next page then. And what can you see on the next page? What's in the picture, Jua? On the next page.
It's
How,
why don't it
can you see it? The picture on the next page?
are you forcing it to load? I'm
Ah,
putting
it's
I'm
not
busy
loading.
forcing it. I'm
Right.
yay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And how many people can you see in the picture on the next page?
At first, his family thought that Pilgrim must have taken ill, maybe had a fever, which mixed up his thinking. To
Uh-huh.
them, his behavior seemed crazy. They
Yeah.
simply could not understand what had gone wrong. Miss Pilgrim took charge.
Right. So, who are the two people who you can see then in that picture? Do you know the names of
You
those
can
two
see
people? Yes?
Pilgrim and Mrs. Pilgrim.
Right. Pilgrim and Mrs. Pilgrim. And uh, what is Pilgrim doing in that picture?
His pride is sleeping.
He's sleeping. And what is Mrs. Pilgrim doing in that picture?
Yes.
Can you see what Mrs. Pilgrim is doing in that
Mm-hmm.
picture?
Mm-hmm.
What is she doing in that picture?
She's looking after him, I think.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely right. It looks like she's looking after him in that picture. She's caring for him, taking very good care of him. That's excellent. Well
Did
done, Shiva. So, Now we can look at the next page, which has the same picture. And what does it say? Oh, I forgot to ask you. Oh, no, no, you told me there was no words that were difficult to understand. Is that right, on that
Yes.
page? That's right. So let's continue reading the next page, please, Jiwa.
Mm-hmm. It's close to evening. It's
Yes.
getting out to bed. Maybe a
Mm-hmm.
good sleep will settle his brains.
Mm-hmm.
The children helped the mother prepare Pilgrim for bed. Everybody walked quickly. They didn't like their father in such sorrow.
That's right. Very good. Well read. And any difficult words there, Jiwa, in that paragraph?
Yes.
Yes, there was a difficult
No,
word.
no, no, there
Ah,
wasn't. There wasn't.
no difficult words. Okay, let's go on. Oh, we have a third page with the same picture. So, what does it say on the third page with the same picture, Jiwa?
But the night was as troubled as Pilgrim as the day had been. Instead
Yes.
of sleep, he lay awake through all the dark hours, sighing
Mhm.
and crying.
That's right. Exactly right. Well read, Jiwa.
Mm-hmm.
And were there any words there that were difficult for you?
Yes.
Yes?
No, 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 no. Why are you saying yes when I have to say no?
I don't know. I was asking you. Yeah. But I think you were saying yes, like everything's all right. I think that's what you meant by saying yes, that you understand everything. Is that what you meant, Shua?
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Very good. Okay, well, let's look at the next page then. What can you see in the picture on the next page, Shua?
Hmm. In the morning, the family wanted to know how Pilgrim felt. When they asked, he told them worse and worse. What were they going to do? What
Mm,
were they to do now? They had to
yes.
find a way to change Pilgrim's strange behavior to heal his madness.
Absolutely. And what do you think they were to do now? What do you think they could possibly do? What way do you think they were thinking of
They
finding
could,
to
they
change?
could agree
Yeah.
with Pilgrim. They could agree with Pilgrim.
Mm, yes, absolutely. And what can you see in the picture?
Mm-hmm.
What can you see? How many people in the picture? On the page you've just read, how many people can you see in the picture?
There's, of course, the child, and there's the woman.
Yes.
Uh,
And what are they doing? What is the woman doing?
there's two people total. The
Yes,
woman
two people.
making porridge for.
Yes, it looks like she's eating porridge. And how many porridge bowls are there?
Hmm? Porridge bowl, three
Three.
porridge
And who
bowls.
do you think those porridge bowls are for? Obviously, the one that's in front of the
For
woman.
children.
Yes, there's one for Mrs. Pilgrim as she's eating. There's one for Pilgrim as well. And the one that's slightly smaller, who do you think that's for?
Yes. It's for children and one is the child.
That's right, for Pilgrim's Child, the one that you can see in the picture there. Absolutely. But remember, there was another member of the family uh, that we can't see in this picture, but we saw in another picture. What was that other member of the family? Do you remember who that was that we saw in
Yeah.
the other picture, Jua?
Yes.
It's a member of the family who was very, very young indeed. Do you remember what age you said was the age you thought um, that that member of the family had? How old?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember you said um,
Yes.
what age did you give that very young member of the family that we saw in a picture before? Do you remember?
Wait.
Hmm.
I can't.
Do you
It's
remember the
five.
baby? Do you remember the baby?
Wait.
How
It's
old
11 o'clock.
did you say the baby was? Do you remember when we saw the baby before?
Where's the baby?
Do you remember we
It's
saw a
11
picture?
o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock.
Oh, it's already
11,
time.
11,
Oh,
11,
you're
11,
right,
11.
Jura. You're right, Jura. Well, just to remind you, the baby you said was 1 year old, but as the baby doesn't eat porridge, it only drinks milk. That's why we don't see a porridge bowl for the baby. Isn't that right, Jura?
Yes.
Okay, you've done very well. Congratulations. Well done, Jura. Thank you for the lesson. Did you enjoy the lesson? Did you like it?
Yes.
You did. Oh, wonderful, Jura. So, thanks you very much once again, and I'll speak to you next time. Thank you,
Yes.
Jura. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye bye.
Bye bye.